Alright, so this here is a video that is. I mean, the video itself isn't really long overdue. It's just something that I got the urge to do, and this will be my second video, WWE related. So I'm here to talk about the Cruiserweight Classic. I was there for the entirety of the Cruiserweight Classic. I got tickets for all four segments, all four rounds, you know, ringside for the entire thing. It started in like June. I think it was like around my birthday actually, late June, and it culminated in September, all at Full Sail. So went to round one. There was like 16 matches. They were all pretty good. Classic first round. Tournament style. You know who's gonna win. The losers are kind of obvious. Then it got to round two, and round two of the Cruiserweight Classic. It was in July at Full Sail, and it kicked off with Tajiri versus Grand Metalik, and Grand Metalik won. Spoiler alert: he ended up being in the finals with T.J. Perkins, who eventually won. And so the second round, the second match of the second round, it was Kota Ibushi versus Cedric Alexander. Now, I missed this match because after the first match with Tajiri and Metalik, I went outside to go get food. I left the venue, went outside, went to the food trucks, went to grab a burger. I was hungry. And they took forever to make my food. So I was out there the whole time. I missed the entire match between Ibushi and Alexander. I come back here with my food after the match, and my girlfriend's like, "Oh, babe, you missed like the greatest thing. You missed like the greatest match. Ibushi and Alexander was great." And I'm like, "Oh, well, okay." I figured it was just like, when she told me I missed a great match, I didn't realize just how great of a match, and it was all I kept hearing about, for the weeks after up until the next round. So here it is. What is this? March. We are, as I'm recording this, we are 2 weeks away from WrestleMania here in Orlando, and it's a Monday night, early Tuesday morning. I watched Raw earlier, and it's a few hours later, and I suddenly got the urge to finally watch this match between Ibushi and Alexander that I'd heard so much about. Because it wasn't just my girlfriend, it was everybody hyping this shit up. And I always knew that eventually I would get around to watching it. I was just taking my time with it. So I finally watched it tonight after all the hype, after hearing about all of it, after already knowing that Cedric Alexander lost, and Triple H came out after and raised his hand, the whole nine. So as far as the Cruiserweight Classic is concerned, Ibushi was one of my favorites to make the Final Four, along with, I don't remember who my Final Four was exactly. I know it was Ibushi, I want to say Zack Sabre, Rich Swann, and Johnny Gargano. But I might be wrong on that because I don't remember everybody that competed. I was not familiar with Ibushi or Alexander before the Classic, among other cats that entered. So I wasn't hip to these guys at all. I had heard about how Cedric lost a whole bunch of weight to compete in the tournament and this and that. So as far as the match itself is concerned, it was very technically sound. When I first started watching like the first few minutes, I'm thinking I'm like, okay, this is over. Everybody overhyped. This match isn't as great. But as with most things, you got to give it time to develop and let these guys tell a story and let these guys do their thing. So the commentary team of Daniel Bryan and Mauro Ranallo, they talk about how it's a 20-minute time limit, and once it got like past that first 10-minute marker, that's when things really started turning up. Like I said, I didn't know about Cedric Alexander before the Classic. Can't say I was a fan of his. And everything after the Classic, when the Cruiserweight division being on Raw and 205 Live, was never really a fan of his. Never really cared about it. And I think it was because I'd never seen this match, this amazing match, which it was. So there was a lot of hype as I'm sitting here in my living room watching it. There's a lot that you can learn from the match from a wrestling, student standpoint. You know what I mean? Just very technically sound, very well paced. I always love a good crowd and good crowd involvement in a wrestling match. And I'm not gonna sit here and claim that I'm like an expert on wrestling, and I can't tell you all the variables on what makes an excellent wrestling match, but that was an excellent wrestling match, despite all the hype. There was, because it was so good near the end that there were parts where Cedric Alexander's doing all these spots, and I'm thinking the motherfucker's gonna win, even though I know he loses. I'm thinking, oh, he about to beat Kota Ibushi. Like, that's because that was my mindset. Because it was very well done. They had some amazing spots, especially the stuff outside the ring with Kota Ibushi doing the dives, and he missed the first one, and then Cedric comes back in the ring and then goes back out the ring. They were just doing some amazing shit. The match was definitely not overhyped. It was every bit as amazing as everybody said it was, and I'm pretty sure had I been in the venue when it happened instead of outside, stuck outside waiting on my fucking food. Had I been in there, I probably would have been blown away, just as blown away as everybody else. The match was stellar, and it was, amazing to see all my friends, in the crowd just losing their shit as it's happening live in front of them. And I'm really, so I'm really sad that I missed it. I'm really sad that I didn't get to see it live. It sucks that I was kind of stuck out there, but the whole second round of the Cruiserweight Classic was great, and I can see why everybody was talking about it. So I just wanted to do this little video just to talk about it, just to rant about it, and let everybody watch and know that if you have seen this, and maybe I'll put like a link to like a highlight something. I'm sure WWE has like a YouTube highlight reel of that match. Maybe I'll put it in the description. But it was every bit as phenomenal as I heard it was, and I'm sorry I missed it. It was a great match. Like I said, there were parts where I thought Cedric was gonna win, because those near falls, man, they were killer. It was. I mean, what more can I say? It was phenomenal. You know, some great stuff. So kudos to Cedric Alexander. I'm definitely more of a fan of him now than I was, previous to seeing this match. Kota Ibushi's, I still look forward to seeing his work, and I definitely want to find out more about him. And the thing that got me to watch this match in the first place was New Japan has recently released a lot of free online stuff, and there's like website links from these Facebook wrestling pages that I'm on that friends are posting, like, oh, New Japan posts this thing and that thing, and check it out for free and whatnot. So I've just been getting into the, Japanese wrestling scene mindset, as it were. So that's what really sparked me to just sit down finally tonight of all nights randomly to, finally check out this video. But man, that match was great. They were right.